7.5 purchase. No acre, no route, 7.5 purchase. With a single story tenement type residential building depicted as Lot 1 in plan number PP-GUM 2875, located within the commercial belt of the Urban Council area, has been acquired under the process of the Land Acquisition Act number 9 of 1950 for a public purpose. The relevant notices, orders have been published as under. Acquired land is 7.5 purchase land with a single-story tenement-type residential building. I think I explained to you what is a tenement type. Tenement type means, because when you do the valuations, you come across various technical terms we use, like FRI terms, track rent, likewise a tenement type residential building. Tenement type means mostly in town areas, all towns, there were residential buildings where you enter from the front door to the living area. Then there's a corridor about 3 feet wide, and left or right side you get 1 or 2 rooms, bedrooms, and then at the back you get the kitchen, and rear you get the toilet. Right? It's called tenement type residential building. There are some states located in a commercial belt of urban council area had been acquired. So once you read at the very beginning, you get that it's a residential building, but it has commercial value because it's located in a commercial value. If we could demolish the building or get the vacant possession of the building, we can sell that building for commercial purpose, not for residential purpose. As we know, commercial value is higher than residential value, right? All those things should come to your mind when you read the first sentence. Then, notice under section 2, 16 for 2015, order under section 38A, 10/6/2015, notice under section 7, 5/1/2016. As usual, as you have already learned, no section 4 notice published, but section 38A published. In such instance, we consider, because intention of acquisition is very important for us to determine payment of compulsion in different scenarios. Therefore, we need to know the intention of acquisition. Intention of acquisition under Land Acquisition Act is section 7, section 4, but here section 4 note is not published. Why? 38A proviso says a 38A notice can be published after publication of either section 2 or 4 notice. Here, section 2 notice published, then 38A published. No section 4 notice published. For our purpose, intention of acquisition is important. So, intention acquisition is section 4, which is not published. In such an instance, what we do is we take the section 2 notice as the intention of acquisition. According to the condition report prepared, the acquired land has a main road frontage of about 20 feet to a B-grade road. and the land lies at the level of the road. The building covers a floor area of 1,200 square feet and it is over 42 years old. From the date of construction, it is occupied by a tenant and the rent paid in the statutory rent as determined by the rent board. Trouble. What's the trouble there? Condition report prepared on 2015. Building is 42 years old. When we deduct 42 from 2015, the building had been constructed in 1973. Floor area is 1,200 and the property is occupied by a protected tenant. It means it is coming within the purview of the Rent Act. Now the property had been acquired. Then we have to determine so many things here. What are they? Persons interested for compensation or compensation, payment of compensation. Who can claim? That depends on the publication of Regulation 2008. If the relevant date is after or the intention of acquisition is after 17/3/2009, for that particular acquisition, Regulation 2008 applies. So here, 38A published in 2015. So definitely, Regulation 2008 we can apply for this sum. Then the building is 42 years old. If we could get the vacant possession of the property, we can get a higher price realized in the open market. Generally, commercial value, as this property is located in commercial belt, then we have to consider whether how to get the vacant possession of 42 years old building. Straight away you can go to section 18A. Under that, if the building is over 40 years old, you can get a demolition order through the National Housing Commissioner after paying compensation to the tenant. All those things should come to your mind. According to the data collected, the general residential rental value in the locality varies from 750 to 20 per square foot per month. And the commercial site value is around 750,000 per perch as at the relevant date. To a depth of about 15 feet from the front boundaries coming within building limits, annual value particulars are as below. 1973, annual value 950, rates 15. 2015, the annual value is 10,000, rates 20%. All relevant parties have made their claims in response to Section 7 notice and stated that they are willing to accept the government valuation. Therefore, It's essential to put in your answer. The compensation should be paid subject to section 17(3). That's the limit given in the act, right? Since the parties are prepared to accept the government valuation. In such an event, it's essential to write in your answer the valuation is payment of compulsion is subject to section 17(3). Determine the parties entitled for compensation, part 1, and assess the amount of compensation to be paid to each party for the land acquired. Now, you know that the relevant date is this. As at that relevant date, you can apply Regulation 2008. Under Regulation 2008-14, if a protected tenant is there, we can get the vacant. We have to consider whether we could get the vacant possession. Vacant possession could be taken if the building is over 40 years old and under Section 18A, getting a demolition order from through the National Housing Commissioner. Then if you could get the vacant possession, then we have to pay compensation to the owner as well as to the settled tenant. So that's the procedure we have to work out. Now, having said so, I am going to stop there. Please go through this with the rent act we learned. They are the same example is worked out. And you compare that with this one, if you like, if you want. Otherwise, if you don't do so and come on the next day, I will explain. But if you could compare and learn it and come, it's easy for you to get to know the procedure. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to stop there. We'll meet on next Thursday, most probably, the same time, and try to complete the applied valuation general section. Okay, have a good night.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, fine. Have a good night.